No, I'm not asking for help, but I'm telling you, you've got to do something. All right, we'll talk about it on Friday. Listen, Mr. President, why don't we just bury the hatchet and you and Miss Roosevelt come over here for supper Christmas Eve? You will? Wonderful. Goodbye, Mr. President. Grace, find out what Democrats eat.
Yes, sir.
The package from Tiffany's?
Arrived this morning.
Fine, I'm going to give it to her and then tell her I want to adopt her.
She's going to be the happiest little girl in the world.
Get her down here.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Annie, can we have a man-to-man talk?
You're sending me back to the orphanage, right?
No, of course not. Annie, I was born into a very poor family, and both of my parents died before I was 10. So I made a promise to myself. One way or another, I was going to be rich, very rich. But I've lately realized something. No matter how much money you got, if you have no one to share your life with, if you're alone, then you might as well be broke. I was in Tiffany's yesterday and picked this up for you.
Gee, for me? Thanks, Mr. Warbucks.
It's a silver locket. Annie, I noticed that old broken one you always wear, and I said to myself, I'm gonna get that kid a nice new locket. Here, we'll just take this old one off and...
No, I don't want a new one.
Annie, what is it?
This locket. My mom and dad left it when they left me at the orphanage. And a note, too. You're coming back for me. I know I'm real lucky being here with you for Christmas, but the one thing I want in all the world is to find my mother and father. Be like all the other kids. The folks of my own.
I'll find them. I'll find your parents for you.
Shh. Mr. Warbucks will find your mother and father, even if he has to put everyone in his organization on the job, even if he has to pull every political string there is to pull.
Up to including the White House. Annie, give me your locket.
But Mr. Warbucks.
I understand, but it could be our best clue of tracing your parents through the locket.
Okay. Maybe they should have my note, too.
To occur, finding them, losing her, or you won't be an orphan for long.
And pretty soon, everyone will know I'm looking for my folks, because we're going to go on the radio and tell them. So make sure you listen, okay? And so maybe now it's time, and maybe when I wake, they'll be there calling me baby, maybe. And so maybe now this prayer's the last one of its kind. Won't you please come get your baby, maybe. Thank you, Annie, and welcome to America's favorite radio program, The Auction Hours of Smiles, starring your old softie, Bert Healy. And good evening, Warbucks. It's nice of you to drop by.
Good evening, Bert Healy. It's nice to be here.
Warbucks, I understand that you have something to tell the folks at home about little Annie here.
Yes, Bert Healy. I'm now conducting a coast-to-coast nationwide search for Annie's parents. Furthermore, I'm offering a certified check for $50,000 to any person who could prove that they're Annie's parents.
Wow. So Annie's parents, if you're listening, write to Warbucks care of this station. Thank you, Warbucks.
Thank you, Bert Healy.
Well, I see by the old clock on the wall that another one of our Thursday night get-togethers has gone by faster than you can say auction it. Yes, this is your old softie, Mrs. Healy's boy, saying, until next week, same time, same station. Good night.
Gee, Annie on the radio coast to coast. She's famous. Gee, I wish I was on the radio. Me too. Who wants to be on the dumb old radio? I do. So for all the hours Smiles family, this is Bert Healy saying.
What's
doing up?
Annie was on the radio.
Yeah, I heard it. And next thing she'll be in the movies. Now get to bed. A $50,000 reward. $50,000. What I couldn't do with $50,000.
Excuse us, ma'am. Are you the lady that runs this here orphanage?
Yeah, what do you want?
Ma'am, was you working here 11 years ago?
Yeah?
Well, we had terrible troubles back then, and we had to leave a baby here on the front stoop.
Our little girl, our Annie.
You were Annie's parents? I can't believe this. Where'd you say you were from again?
A little farm up in Canada where they got a bunch of geese and chicken and rooster. Cock-a-doodle! Gotcha, sis.
Rooster! I'd never think it was you in 100 years.
Fool Jackie, and we're gonna fool Warbucks too.
Get ourselves 50,000 big ones.
We need your help, sis, for details about Annie that can help us pull this thing off.
What's in it for me?
3-way split.
Half.
Half?
Half!
Okay, 25 grand each. But we gotta do it fast, get the money, get the kid, and get out of town.
The kid's the problem. What are you gonna do with her afterwards?
No problem. When I want something to disappear, it disappears. For good. We get the 50 grand, we blow this crummy town, and Lil Anna will meet you.
Where? Oh, yeah.
Well, Miss Farrell?
I'm sorry, Annie. I've spoken to more than 1,000 people claiming to be your parents, but they were all liars and fakes.
Are you certain?
Yes, sir. None of them knew about the locket. I'm so sorry.
Sure, somebody was going to be my folks.
Mr. Warbucks?
This has just come by special messenger from the FBI.
Oh, finally. Agent Gunderson located the manufacturer of Annie's locket in Utica, New York.
Oh, boy.
Over 90,000 were made and sold.
Oh, gee.
Annie, I'm afraid the FBI doesn't think that there's a chance in a million of tracing your parents through their locket. I'm sorry.
That's okay, Mr. Warbucks. You did your best. And I guess a kid can get along without folks. You didn't turn out so bad.
Grace,
Yes, sir?
do you have those legal papers I gave you the other day?
Right here.
Annie, I want to adopt you.
Adopt me?
Yes or no?
Well, if I can't have my real mother and father, there's no one in the world I'd rather have for a father than you, Mr. Warbucks.
Annie, this isn't just going to be an adoption. It's going to be a celebration, and you can invite anyone in the world you want to come to it. Who would you like?
Well, I guess I'd like Miss Farrell here, and Mrs. Pugh, and Mr. Drake, and, well, everybody here, I guess.
Drake,
Yes, sir.
tell the staff to get spiffed up. They're going to be the guest of Annie's adoption party.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and the kids.
I'm afraid it'll be way past their bedtime, but tell you what, we'll have everyone from the orphanage here tomorrow for a big Christmas party.
Miss Hannigan, too.
Why not?
Together at last, together forever. We're tying a knot they never can sever.
And if tomorrow I'm an apple seller too,
I don't need anything
but you.
Yesterday was plain awful.
You could say that again,
Yesterday was plain awful.
but that's
Not now, that's then. I'm poor as a mouse,
I'm richer than Midas.
but nothing on earth could ever divide us.
And if tomorrow I'm an apple seller too,
I don't need anything, anything, anything. I don't need anything but you.
Jesus, folks, surely look, there's our Annie.
Who are you? Honey, we're your mom and dad.
Mudge is the name, Ralph Mudge, and this here is the wife, Shirley.
And we're Annie Mudge.
Annie Mudge.
We loved you, Annie, but we had to leave you behind.
We've seen a great number of people who've.
I expect there'll be one in proof of who we are. Here's our driver's license and Annie's birth certificate.
Name, Anne Elizabeth Mudge. Born to Ralph and Shirley Mudge. New York, New York, October 28, 1922.
October 28th? That's my birthday. Ralph, look, she's wearing the locket.
When we left Annie at the orphanage, we left half a silver locket and kept the other half. Yes, it fits perfectly.
Oh, thank God, Ralph, she's our Annie.
Mr. Mudge, what about the money?
Well, we ain't got much, but we'd be glad to give you whatever.
You haven't heard that I've offered a certified check for $50,000 to any person who could prove that they're Annie's parents?
No, sir. Anyway, I don't want no money.
On the other hand, Ralph, remember that little pig farm up in New Jersey? With $50,000, we could afford to bring Annie up right in the country.
Do you mind if Annie stays here until tomorrow morning, Christmas? Then you could come back to pick her up and the check.
Whatever you prefer, sir.
Bye, Annie, love.
Until tomorrow morning, honey, and you'll be spending the rest of your life with us.
Oops.
Well, this is
Wonderful news.
Drake Champagne.
Yes, sir.
We must celebrate because we've just found the most wonderful news. Annie's found her mother and father. I propose a toast to Annie Mudge.
To Annie Mudge. Annie.
I've lost her. I've lost Annie.
Sir, I have the strangest feeling that I've seen that Mr. Mudge before, and he's not who he really says he is.
Then I won't give her up.
But how?
I'll find a way. I'll go straight to the top, to the President of the United States.
Silly to cry, nothing to fear. Betcha where they lives, as nice as right here. Betcha my life is gonna be swell. Looking at them, it's easy to tell. And maybe I'll forget how nice he was to me, and how I was almost his baby. Baby. You're up early.
You're up early, too. Dear FBI men coming and going. And Annie, did you know that the president is here?
Really?
Mr. President?
Merry Christmas, Mr. President.
Merry Christmas, Annie. Early this morning, FBI Director Hoover telephoned me with some very sad news. He succeeded in tracing the identity of your parents.
Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Mudge.
No, dear. David and Margaret Bennett.
But
Annie,
Your mother and father passed away a long time ago.
you mean I'm an orphan after all?
I love you, Annie Bennett.
I love you too. Now, who the heck are Ralph and Shirley Mudge?
The birth certificate could have easily been forged, but nobody knew about the locket except for us.
And the FBI, of course.
And Miss Hannigan.
And Miss Hannigan?
Miss Hannigan, sir, and the children from the orphanage.
Oh, Miss Hannigan, I'm delighted to meet you.
Same here, and I know you anywheres.
Miss Hannigan, let me introduce you to everyone. This is the secretary, Miss Farrell. And here's the President of the United States. And this is my butler, Drake.
Look, kids, there's presents here for all of us.
Mr. Warbucks, this has just come from the FBI.
Now it all fits together.
Sir, Mr. and Mrs. Mudge.
Good morning.
Merry Christmas. But no.
Merry Christmas.
Well, we don't want to bother you on Christmas and all. We just came to pick up Annie. And the check?
Oh, of course, the check. $50,000 certified.
Certified to the paid order of the jig is up.
Yes, the jig is up. Daniel Francis Hannigan, also known as...
Ralph Mudge, also known as Rooster Hannigan, also known as Danny the Dip.
Louis, turn them over.
And I believe you'll find this woman is their accomplice.
I've never seen any people till yesterday! Aw, come off it, Aggie. Annie! Annie, tell them how nice and sweet I've always been to you, Annie. I'm sorry, Miss Hannigan, but remember the one thing you always taught me. Never tell a lie. Rat! Miss Hannigan is gone for good.
Yay!
You won't have to work anymore.
Yay!
Yes, girls, and perhaps for all of us. This Christmas is going to be a new beginning of a wonderful life. A new deal. I rather like that. A new deal.
So do I, Franklin, a new deal.
The sun will come out tomorrow. But your bottom don't learn that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow. Till there's none. When I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, I just stick out my chin and grin and say, oh, the sun will come out tomorrow, so you gotta hang on to
Thank you all so much again for coming. We really appreciate it. I want to especially thank all of our sound and lights guys, all of the volunteers, all the parents that made this happen, Mrs. Bard and the Sewells, Mr. Erickson and JJ, all the people that are running the back of the house. So thank you all so much for making that happen. We really appreciate it. They have been instructed to stay for pictures, so we're going to go through and swipe their microphones, and then you're welcome to take pictures, and then they're yours. Thankfully.